Hi everyone! So before you go about solving these constant acceleration problems, I just wanted to talk a little bit about how to solve a physics problem. So I have a bunch of steps here, and of course you go through these very quickly once you get the hang of it, but I do want you to do these things, okay, when you solve these problems. So first and foremost, you have to calm down. It's just a physics problem. It's not the end of the world. Sometimes these can seem very, very intimidating, especially when you realize that, oh my gosh, physics problems are just word problems. And I hated word problems when I was younger. So, but they're not, they are fun once you get the hang of them. So just calm down. It's not the end of the world, just a physics problem. Number two, you want to read through the problem once completely before writing anything down. I tend to skip this part a lot of the time just because I've been doing this for so long. But it is helpful to read through it once, get your bearings, and then start solving after that. You want to decide where your coordinate system is. So what this means is you want to say, okay, what direction's positive? Where is my x equals 0 or my y equals 0? Usually when we have something like a car starting from rest or something like that, we say our x equals 0 where that car starts. Or if we were talking about motion that's up and down, we say a y equals 0 at the ground or something like that. So this is kind of something that's usually done kind of subconsciously. But you want to make sure that you have your bearings, where your coordinate system is. What direction's positive? Up's positive usually, and forward is usually positive. But that's really important in physics because positives and negatives are very important in physics. Number four, you want to draw a picture. Now, we're going to do this especially when we start doing Newton's laws problems. I'm going to make you draw a picture every single time. For kinematics problems, I do like to draw a picture sometimes, but sometimes you'll see that I skip this step as well. Number five, you want to write down your given quantities. This is a step you should never skip, okay? Always write down your given quantities. And you want to write them, you want to write the variable equals this. So initial velocity equals 5 meters per second. Acceleration equals 2 meters per second squared. You want to write these down so that you know, okay, what are they giving me? And what variables do I have so that you can pick the right equation? And that comes in a couple more steps. Number six, and this kind of goes with number five, is you want to ask yourself, what am I solving for? So I like to not only write what I'm given, but I also write what I'm solving for. So if I'm solving for acceleration, I write A equals question mark, because that reminds me what I'm actually solving for here. Sometimes these problems are so convoluted that you just forget what you're actually even solving for. But when you have it written down, then you know exactly what you're solving for. And then number seven, you want to pick the right equation. And this kind of goes with this sub point right here for number six. You want to pick the equation that has your givens and has the thing that you're solving for in it. If you're asking yourself, what do they not give me? Say you're not given time or something like that. You don't want to pick an equation that has time in it because that's not going to help you. You don't have that variable and you're not solving for that variable. So you want to pick the right equation and you want to write it down on your paper in variable form. So don't just plug in your numbers, write the actual equation down. And then you want to solve that equation for your unknown variable. Now, step number 8, I'm more of a stickler for with my AP class. With my regular physics class, if you want to plug in your numbers right away into your equation after you write the equation down first, and then underneath that, plug in your numbers. That's okay with me. But I sometimes, you'll see, like to solve the equation for the unknown variable. So I solve it algebraically first, and then I plug in my numbers correctly. And then last but not least, we're going to get an answer, and then I like you to put a box. You'll see that I'm partial to the box around the answer, or highlight it, and don't forget your units. You don't want to just put a number there. No naked numbers, right? So you want to write down your units as well.